How's it going, everybody? This is Rex Thompson. I'm your humble instructor for Humanities Part Humanities 2. It's Humanities starting about the Renaissance and coming up to current times. I have to apologize for my scratches on my face. Believe it or not, my cat did it. Yes, my cat did it. He must have been angry at something because he's spoiled. Anyway, welcome, smoky, hot Northern California. Hope you guys are staying safe in these pandemic times and these fire-laden times. We're going to take a journey together. Hopefully, you guys are all online now. You're all getting used to Canvas. If you haven't been on Canvas, there's a tutorial at the very front of the course. I suggest you take it because everything we do is going to be on Canvas. Your papers, your essays, your quizzes, the discussions, these lectures, the films I want you guys to watch, the documentaries, everything is here. This is the platform we're using. So we will use it a lot. The first thing you should do is look over the syllabus. We're not in the classroom, so things have changed, obviously. And everything should be there. I'm sure there might be something missing, but it's subject to change. No worries. If you have questions, my number's there. Text me or email me. No problem. If you need to meet me on a one-to-one Zoom basis, let me know. We'll set it up. I don't have any office hours because I don't have any office besides my living room and our Zoom calls. So that'll be it. But if you need some clarification on anything, please contact me. I'm available. I've been give you a little rundown in my discussion. I ask you to introduce yourself. That's the only thing we're going to do this week until the next lecture, which will probably be on Thursday. And just look over the syllabus. Look at the textbook. You're going to need it. If the bookstore doesn't have it, which I don't think they do, but they've been told they need sites I printed on the announcements. On Amazon, it's for rent for $27. Chegg, it's on, I think they're asking $35 for rental. Anyway, this is what it looks like, folks. Can you see? Make sure you get volume 2, 7th edition. Now, if it's the 9th edition or something, that's okay. The editions aren't that much difference. They're just a little bit more up to date, whatever. But if this is the one you could get, and it's readily available out there, so please get it soon. I won't assign any readings this week, but I will start assigning readings next week. Don't get volume 1. It's too early. Make sure it's volume 2. Okay? It's there in the syllabus. And I posted announcements where you could rent them if and when the Shasta College bookstore carries them. So by next week, let me know if you haven't got the book, and then I'll hold off on assigning the readings. But we're going to have to jump into the book pretty soon. Not yet, though, so don't worry. This is your introduction week, so everything's kind of easy, except for I might have you watch some stuff on YouTube, which is a lot of my assignments, like this lecture, is on YouTube. What I do is I post this stuff. This is on my YouTube channel right here. I post it on modules. It's on Canvas. I'll post an announcement, latest lecture on modules. That's what this is, the first lecture of our semester, the fall semester, even though it's still the middle of summer. And it goes all the way for 17 weeks, We've got a lot of ground to cover. Hopefully, we have some fun doing it. Don't think of it as torture, think of it as a great adventure. What is the humanities, you ask yourself? Well, that's the question we're going to be delving into for the whole time we're together. Humanities covers a lot of ground. Think about the definition of it. Essentially, our humanities. What makes us human? What it makes us human? Our culture, the societies we live in, politics, art, and much, much more. We're going to be covering a lot of art in this class, starting with early days of painters like Michelangelo, going up to contemporary artists like Andy Warhol, who's not that contemporary to you, but he's pretty contemporary. Willem de Kooning and Jackson Pollock, maybe you know these names. To music, from Beethoven to Mozart, to punk rock in the 70s, to the Sex Pistols, to Nirvana in the 90s, to the hip hop world and beyond. We'll get as far as we can. We'll be covering a gamut of music, folk music, jazz, Miles Davis, to Bob Dylan, to the Beatles. Maybe you have a favorite. Maybe that's what we'll talk about. How important music is to who we are as humans. How many of you have been here to Europe? Have you been to a museum in Europe? We're going to be talking about that. Essentially, modern times, which is when we're starting, what they call modern times. Why is it modern times? Well, you'll see. We're coming into this area which is known as the Renaissance. I'll be talking about this more in depth later on this week as we get going. But everything sort of in Western Europe started in Florence, Italy. And that'll be kind of ground zero for the Renaissance. That is going to sweep across Western Europe before it comes to the U.S. This is 1500. So it's a few hundred years before America gets going. So we're not there yet. We'll get to America eventually. But for this early stuff, we'll be in Europe. We're not going to cover too much of Asia because this is Western humanities. But we'll cover as much as we can without overwhelming you guys. If you look at the syllabus, you'll see that besides the textbook that you're going to need to get, you'll see what the assignments are going to be. No assignments this week, so don't worry about it. This is our introduction week, so everything's kind of trying to figure out how the system works and how Canvas works and how the lectures work, everything. It's our introduction week. We've got 17 weeks to delve into the stuff. By the time we're done, you guys will be zealots for the humanities. You'll want to do more and experience more because humanities is who we are at our best. I'm not going to be talking about wars because that's who we are at our worst. I'm not going to, but we'll be covering a lot of ground from early days to contemporary. And we're going to be looking at what goes on in the culture and how it reflects on who we are. What's going on in the culture right now? What is the culture? We're going to be talking about all that. So when these great art movements were happening, painters, musicians, actors, playwrights, filmmakers, what prompted them to do their art? So we're going to be looking at what goes on in the culture and how it reflects to the art. Because that's thus holding up a mirror to who we are. So there's going to be discussions. Hopefully, you guys introduce yourselves this week. You saw the discussion. Jump right in. Be a leader in the discussion. The more we discuss, the better the discussion. It's called a discussion. I'll be posting some questions. I'll post another one into this week. And I do look at the discussions. They're part of your participation. We're not in the class together. We used to have this in class. When we had class, we'd break them in discussion groups. We can't do that right now. So we're going to be breaking up in discussion groups on the virtual discussion. So that's a good place for you to flourish, because guess what? You don't need to be shy. You're not in the class. You're online, and you all love texting. I know you do. LOL. Sad face, happy face. You know the usual stuff. Let it rip on discussions. Here's the thing, though. I want you guys to be very decent to each other. Let's don't get into fights or arguments or anything like that. What's the point? If you disagree with someone, it's okay to have a lively discussion without getting hurtful or hateful. Treat everybody how you want to be hated, how we all deserve to be treated, which is with a bit of respect and kindness. Okay? Besides the discussions, you're going to write about 6 essays. I am a writer and a playwright and a novelist, and so writing is what I do. And so none of my assignments usually are tests, true and false, or multiple choice. I like essays because I want to know how you're thinking, what you feel about something. And so we'll be writing essays. I know some of you dread writing. That's good. That means you'll learn something. And the essays I'll be assigning, I won't start one until next week, so don't worry about it this week. It'll usually be based on a documentary I want you to watch, or some aspect of the book I want you to read about. We'll talk about that later, and I'll get into more detail later, not today. There's going to be a final quiz at the very end. Don't worry about it yet, because it's not going to come until we start covering cinema. Yeah, that's a fancy word for movies. We're going to probably do an entire 2 weeks on movies, possibly, if we have time. I'm also the film studies teacher, and my passion, besides literature and writing, creative writing, is film. Cinema. Do you like movies? Do you think you like movies? Why do you go to a movie? Do you go to movies? Do you like horror movies, sci-fi, old movies? How many of you like old black and white movies? I bet none of you. Well, guess what? You're going to learn to love them. Or not. The quiz will be about that. Don't worry about it. It won't be until probably the last 2 weeks of school I do the quiz. So don't worry about that yet. You're also going to do a final research paper, probably on a topic of something we've covered. Don't worry about that. That's going to be due the last week of class in December. You're also going to do a journal. Oh, I can hear you groaning now. And I want reflection in your journal. Do you know what reflection means? I want your thoughts, a sentence or two in your journal, not just telling me what we covered. In your journal, it's going to be like a diary. Yes, you can start it this week. It's going to have 16 entries, maybe 17, forever how many weeks we have. And in that week, you're going to write down what you saw, what you read, how it affected you. Were you affected? Did you get anything out of it? This lets me know you're paying attention. It lets me know you were in the class. You'll watch my lectures. You'll watch the documentaries. You read some of the book. You joined the discussion, because you're going to write like a paragraph every every chance you get for every week we're here. And a reflection. What did you get out of it? Anything? Nothing? That's not due to the very last week of school, so don't worry about it yet, but I start thinking about keeping it now. And you'll be uploading it. You're not handing it papers to me because we're not in class together. You're not handwriting the paper. You are typing it like a professional student and uploading it to Canvas. When I open the assignment, which I'm not going to open for at least 15 more weeks, don't worry about it. But keep it as a Word doc or a PDF. Store it. You know how to do that. If not, contact me. We'll talk about it. I'm going to be printing. I'll print it up next week. I'll print up a sample of what the journal reflection should look like. So don't inundate me with questions. It's too soon. You know what journaling is. A bunch of you do it already, I'm guessing. But when you see the example of what a good journal looks like, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll post it next week. What else? That's really about it. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with this first little brief lecture. Are your other classes in the classroom? I heard some of the chess college stuff is in the classroom. This one isn't. Stay healthy, stay cool. Don't go out jogging in this horrible smoky environment. This is a humanities. Are you human? You know you are. I want you guys to feel free to express yourselves in this class. There are no silly questions or stupid questions, but there are silly or stupid unanswered questions. Don't go a long ways without knowing what the hell you're doing. I'll explain things as much as I can. Pardon my cough. It's the smoke. I have a swamp cooler and my room is smoky, folks. Anyway, that's all there is today. Humanities. Look up the word. I'll be starting some pardon me. I'll be starting some YouTube TED Talks so you can look what humanities is. Welcome to the class. It is my honor to be here for you. I'm only as good as my students. I'll try to hold the bar up there pretty high. I'm really fair, but I believe in honesty. That's honesty in your approach to the class, to your papers, to the content of your papers. I expect you all to be here for the whole time. When you're keeping your journal, if you miss a class, if you miss a week, just say missed it. If you missed a bunch of those, you'll lose points. I can't take roll. That's my way of taking roll. And I want you to be honest about it. Not just with me, but be honest with yourself. Yes, there's ways around to trick the teacher to do whatever. If that's what you think education is, have at it. I don't have the time or the patience for it. And you're not signed up for it. I don't know any of you. I probably will never get to meet you. But I will get to know you through your discussions and through the quality of your essays. I will get to know you. That's all I have for right now. 20 minutes is enough. I usually lecture 30 minutes. I don't want to bore you or myself, but it would help you a lot to watch these. I hope you do. Welcome to the class. Welcome to fall 2021. After these fires are put out, who knows if they ever will, after we get rain, things are going to get better. Welcome. See you next time.